Now, you got to admit, I'm in a pretty good mood considering what went down last night. I was able to sleep on it. Last night, I was not in such a good mood. Last night, I was pretty freaking irritable. Pretty freaking irritable because I had a case of the red ass. Probably because my eyes were burning. In fact, they're still burning. I'm still in searing pain from the latest Thursday night slobfest. See, it's affecting my mouth, man, my tongue, my head. I feel like my brain got rewired the wrong way from watching that game last night. Like, it's turning my mind to mush. Even if I and everybody else on the planet knew what was coming last night. I mean, we all fully expected ass. What I did not expect was triple ass. Here's what nobody saw coming. The historically pathetic Patriots offense exploding out of nowhere. Like the greatest show on turf to start that game. We thought that might be, and I was going to hit. I didn't hit the under, but I was going to hit the under. We thought that might be one of the lowest scoring games ever. Instead, the Pats scored more points in the first half last night than they had in the previous 3 games combined. And by the way, against a pretty good Pittsburgh defense in Pittsburgh. In other words, great look, Pittsburgh. Great look for you. Always awesome when you get dunked on in your house, on national television, in prime time, by a 2-10 team that just lost 5 games in a row in 8 of their last 9. But you know what's even better than that, Steeler fan? When it's the second time in 2 weeks that you lost to a 2-10 team on your field that had lost 8 of your last 9. How is this even possible? Seriously, Mike Tomlin, I'm looking at you now, dude. I would never, ever call this guy out like that. I'm looking at you, Mike. How does that happen? I know you lied to America when you fired up that Twitter app back in the day, long before it became the X, and it was still Twitter. And you promised straight fire from your feed and never gave us anything at all. Yeah, well, you might want to take some of that straight fire that you reneged on what is now the X, and blast it at your own team. Because I have never seen one of your teams look more lifeless, more unmotivated, and more out of it than it looks right now. More depressed than it looks right now. More miserable than it looks right now. How the hell do the Patriots, who have nothing to play for, except for a high draft pick, come into your house when you have everything to play for? And play with grit and heart, and your dudes just lay down. How is that possible? And how is that possible from a Mike Tomlin coach team? How is it possible also to get your ass beat by the Cardinals and then have your players admit after that game that they did not take Arizona seriously, and then yet turn around and come out and completely fall flat the following week? Go ahead, Alvy. I will allow it today. You have my permission. Cue up SJP. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't, Mike. Your team admitted they weren't ready for Arizona last week. That in and of itself doesn't make any sense.
Mitch Trubisky
is playing for his career. And they all no-show completely. Like, I knew this was a phony-ass 7-win team. What I didn't know is that they were this much of a disaster. And I really didn't know that Kenny Pickett was Terry Bradshaw compared to Mitch Trubisky. I mean, that offense was so horrific.
Mitch Trubisky.
And the play calling so bizarre last night that Steeler fan was actually missing Matthew, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And do you know how hard it is to make Steeler fan miss Matthew, Nova Scotia? Do you know how much they hated that guy? So hard that until last night I would have told you it was impossible. What they'd give to have that guy back now, right? He was the single most hated man in all of Pittsburgh. Right now he could probably run for governor of Pennsylvania. Turns out this team has got much bigger problems than Matthew Canada. Namely, they're playing like crap across the board, and they look absolutely miserable doing it. The Steelers look like they hate each other more than they hate the other team. Nobody on the outside is enjoying this Steelers season, and apparently nobody on the inside is either. Like, I can't believe that George Pickens hasn't just taken his ball and gone home yet, or pulled an Antonio Brown and stripped down and pieced out mid-game. Because every single week, it looks like he's on the verge of doing exactly that. That was funny, Albie. What happened to this team? What happened to this defense? See, another example of you're not what your record says you are. You're not what your record says you are, because there's no way this team was 7-4. What happened to Mike Tomlin's Coach of the Year campaign? Weren't we ready to give that to that guy like 5 minutes ago? 2 weeks ago, they're 7-4, and he looked like he was doing some of the best work of his job, of his career. Now it looks like he's completely lost the team. Can I reset that? 2 weeks ago, or a few weeks ago, it looked like he was doing the best work of his entire career, and now it looks like he lost the team? How does that happen? So forgive me if I'm not exactly convinced by Tomlin's tough guy answer to the obvious question of the night. What gives you the confidence that y'all can pick yourselves up off the mat after 2 straight weeks of eating the fists, Mike, of 2-10 teams? You know, normally in years past, when Mike Tomlin would show up and say that, you'd be like, damn. I mean, he always had your attention, right? But this is what we do? This is who we are?
This is what we do. This is who we are.
Hey, Mike, this is news to us. This is exactly what the rest of us see right now. Let me tell you something. I'll tell you what we see right now, and I'll tell you exactly who you are right now. It's just me, some knucklehead behind a mic, outside your locker room. You would know better. But I'm going to tell you how you look. I'm not going to tell you how you are or who you are, but I will tell you how you look. You look like a team that got your asses beat by 2-10 teams in back-to-back home games. You're a team where players admit they don't take games seriously and do not prepare hard enough. You're a team that has not won a playoff game in 6 years. You're a team with one of the most perennially excruciating offenses in all football. Even Iowa hates watching you guys try to move the ball. Your offense is a perennial pain. You know what? It's a perennial ass. Ask any Steeler. So again, the question, who are the Steelers? That's who you are right now.
This is what we do.
I just told you what you do.
This is who
you
we
lose
are.
to 2-10 teams back to back when you're a 7-4 team and you've got a shot at the playoffs. That's what you do. That's who you are. Ask any Steeler fan. They'll back me up, because the only people more sick of the Steelers than the Steelers themselves are their fans, and they deserve better. But you know what? If you don't care about the fans, or they're just fans, go find one of your players. Go find a respected player. Go find somebody like Minkah Fitzpatrick. That's a player. That's a vet. That's a respected vet. He was the latest to run to the media to dish about what a dumpster fire this team is right now. Here is what he told ESPN, quote, "In order to see the fruit, you got to toil for it. I think too many people don't want to toil for it. They just want to walk out here and think that they're going to make plays and think that they're going to perform at a high level. I think we need to have more people who want to work for it, not expect it to be handed to them. This is the NFL. Nothing's handed to you. You got to earn everything." End of quote. I mean, wow. So that's who you are. Minkah says your guys don't want to toil for it. Last week, Jaylen Warren told us that the team didn't take the Cardinals seriously and did not prepare properly. So at this point, I think it's fair to say that's what you are. That's what you do.
This is what we do. This is who we are.
Your own guys are saying opposite of that. Oh, and one more thing. In regards to who you are and what you do, you get dominated by the hood. That's who you are and what you do. Belichick is now 10-3 for his career against Tomlin. This one's got to feel so sweet for the mumbler. Rolling into Pittsburgh with Bailey Zappi and exploding for 3 first-half TDs. That's got to be the ultimate troll win. Follow me on this. The ultimate troll victory for the Hood, especially since Pat's fan doesn't really want those wins. My half Chowd fam, has turned the page to the draft already. My half Chowd fam is Caleb Williams and Drake May. They're in that mode. So, of course, the Hood man trolls everybody with a massive primetime road win over a 7-5 team after scoring only 13 points over the previous 3 games. Classic Hood.
Classic.
Maybe that's all that Bill has left at this point. For motivation, I mean. Trolling. The man has virtually achieved everything else, right? So if you really think about it, the last 2 seasons have been one gigantic troll job. Whether it's Matt the Ticonderoga coaching the offense, Joe the leader of men coaching the quarterbacks, or the constant mind games with Mac, or the drafting of a kicker in the 4th round, or refusing to add any high-end talent to his offense. Maybe that's what the Hood is truly aiming for at this point in his career. Not running down Don Shula, just trolling the hell out of everybody. If that's his deal, he did a great job last night, because I'm pretty sure basically nobody came away happy about that result. Who's happy about that? That's got to be how the Hood man wanted it. Hood man's probably like, hey, Radio Man. You know what's going on here, Radio Man? 4D chess. Does that make sense to you, Radio Man? 4D chess. Not just chess. No, hey, Radio Man, you're playing checkers, and the rest of them are playing chess, but not me. 4-dimensional chess. You finally figured it out. I'm not tanking. I am trolling. There's a difference. They both start with T, but that's the only thing. Tanking, trolling. Bob Kraft and Baconface and all the Chowds and you yourself, Radio Man, and Mac Jones can all kiss my ass. We are an embarrassment. We are not good enough to matter. We're not good enough to matter, much less contend for anything. But I refuse to give the fans and Bobby and all the other boobs, and most of all you, Radio Man, what you want, a high draft pick. This is why I went into Pittsburgh and beat the Steelers, so I can urinate. Follow me on this, Radio Man, so I can urinate on you and all your parades and all the plans. And you want to know what else is fun? This is fun, Radio Man. I'm going to urinate on all you. And you know what else? I ate asparagus last night. Ha! Ha! Tell me how my troll ass tastes. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And hit the bell to be the first to know when we do upload a new video.